There are many of us under the sound of my voice listening to me right now. The current situation of your life can only be described as spiritual paralysis. You have been paralyzed spiritually. The intent to will, desire is inside you, but you don't have the capacity to bring your intention to pass anymore. If you are here and you want to pray but you cannot pray, the diagnosis is one: you are paralyzed. If you are here, you want to fast and you cannot fast. You want to say no to unrighteousness and you cannot overcome that sin. The only way we can describe your infirmity is spiritual paralysis. That is, the intention to be right with God is in your heart. Your heart wants to stand, but there is a nature that has corrupted your vessel, that has made sure that you will never comply with God in your life. Unfortunately, I speak about the greater percentage of the Christian of our generation. This is the state of their life, because many princes has collided with them. Listen, in my few years on this corridor of ministry, I have met a whole lot of ministers. I'm talking about people who are blessing people from the pulpit, who come to me in the cover and say, please join faith with me. And I still see the arrogance and the pride. You don't want to even acknowledge that you have a challenge in your life. You say, join faith with me. There is something I'm trusting God to live my life. And you veil it, you hide it. You still cannot open up. And then I probe further. I say, what are you trusting God for? Then he say, you know how the generation is. Nobody is perfect. So he wants to first generalize everybody. You are not even ready to change. You know that nobody is perfect. Me, my own. So he first say nobody is perfect. Then he say, because he is saying that everybody has something. My own is just lost. I'm just lost. I'm struggling with from time to time. Most times it's not a challenge, but I want to be consistent. You can see lie, arrogance, pride. He has not reached that point where he loved not his life unto death. He is still alive. So his reputation, what people think about him, is still very important, more than his salvation. He that keeps his life will lose it. There is a level of death that must happen to this vessel before you can effectively represent the counsel of God. There are many living men who have never tasted of death, and they are talking about the resurrected life. Men who have not gone through the grave, and they are talking about the resurrected life. The cross that ended Jesus' life will end your life too. You too will go to that cross. Who is it that wants to follow me? Let him deny himself, take up his cross and follow. Have you carried your own cross? Have you gone? And then you remain, continue to pamper sin. Today you say, okay, I know what I'll do, I will fast. And then you are doing all these things, and time is strengthening the cord of darkness in your life. Because a challenge that you are inside for 1 week is not the same as a challenge you are inside for 1 year. As at 1 year, the rope that they tied you with has become stronger. The cord that binds your soul has become thicker. There are individuals who are under the yoke of addiction, and they have laid there for 15 years, some 20 years. It has become a rusted chain, a heavy chain. It has become a stronghold, and if you are not careful, you will pass captivity back to an innocent child. So you will conceive them in iniquity, and you will give captivity to a generation who had no reference to your own compromise. This is why I told you there is a time to fight. There is a time to go to war. There is a time to say, if I perish, I perish. Let this thing die with me. I don't want an innocent child to suffer because of what I have done. You are pampering loss now. There is a baby who don't know anything that can become a victim of the atmosphere you have tolerated. There is a destiny who have no idea that can become a victim of this thing. A time will come, it is no longer about you. It's no longer about you. But the selfish man will never change. He is there. How many people here cannot go without sex for a week? You can't go without sex for a week. You pretend, you try to hide it. You wear all kinds of, long Christian kind of wear. There's no need again. Eternity is beckoning on us this night. You either win this war now or you fail forever. It is this youth, this time, this is the moment, the day when you hear his voice. Harden not your hearts. When you hear the blowing of the trumpet, don't say one day I'm not ready. It is that day you run out for salvation and say, Jesus, help me, help me. I cannot help myself again. I have tried all my own option. There are people who have been drawn into depravity. There are people into homosexuality, people into lesbianism, and they are feeling shy to even mention it to any human being. This is why atmospheres like this are designed, so that a man can step into fire. You stay inside the fire, don't escape, stay there. Hey, media, help me find that scripture. It says, bind the sacrifice with cord, even unto the horns of the altar. When you become a sacrifice and you yield yourself, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercy of the Lord, that you present your body. You bring your body to the altar. Leave it on that fire there. Don't let the fire stop. It will burn until no darkness is left. Let's read together at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. God is Lord, which hath showed us light. Bind the sacrifice with cords, even unto the horns. Tie the sacrifice with ropes. Tie it to the horn of the altar. Let it not escape when the fire comes. This is the only way living sacrifice are. Because when the fire comes, you would want to escape the dealing. And that fire is meant to purify. So you must tie yourself with a cord, that even though you want to run, it's too late. The fire must work on you. The fire must complete its assignment. Those of you who are always escaping seasons, Jesus will show you another encounter. You will wake up and know that there is a calling. There is a heightened spiritual sensitivity. You will start fasting. Before you know, the whole thing will crash again. It's because they have not bind the sacrifice with cords, even unto the horns of the altar.